Every shredder has a handful of sequenced licks at their disposal, but the problem is if they fit too neatly inside the measure lines, they can become really predictable sounding. So to help you out, on today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to create sequenced licks using unusual note groupings that don't fit neatly inside of the measure, like this one. Hey there kids, it's your good buddy Uncle Ben, and welcome to a brand new installment of Weekend Wank Shop. The pattern that we're going to talk about today is one that I came up with in the key of E minor. It's 14 notes long. That means that it comes up just shy of being an entire measure of 16th notes. So whenever the lick starts over, it's at a really odd part of the beat, which makes the entire pattern a lot harder to discern and figure out. I'm going to show you guys the pattern and then also talk a little bit about the strategery that I implemented to make it more easier to pick. As always, this video is brought to you guys by everybody who supports my channel over on my Patreon page at patreon.com/BenEllerGuitars. Sign up today for all kinds of bonus goodies like backing tracks, bonus lessons, downloadable tabs, and so much more. This week, everybody who supports the channel at any level is going to get downloadable tabs to go along with this lesson, as well as practice tracks that I made to go along with it to help you become a better shredder. So don't delay. Sign up today. Hey kids, it's your good buddy Editing Bay Uncle Ben. While I was making this video, I jam-packed it with too much information, guitar Illuminati secrets and so forth. So my patrons are also getting a super extended bonus cut of this with way more information, as well as ad-free presentations. If you hate those ads, this one's for you. Gear-wise for today's video, I'm playing this absolutely beautiful Cardinal Red Gibson Les Paul Standard 60s, which means it's got that nice thin shreddy neck on it. And I'll tell you guys, this thing is a burner. It plays itself. Freaking amazing guitar. I'm playing that through my Dietzel VH2, which is also quite amazing. But before we get any further, let's hear that lick again at step-dad speed. Okay, so this lick is in the key of E minor. That means it's going to be using the notes E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E throughout. Okay, so here's how the pattern sounds if I just play one lap of it. It's 14 notes total. Now here's what you're going to do. You're going to start off here with the 3-note grip that we began with, and you're just going to play down and up all 3 notes like this. So right out of the gate, you hit them with a little 3 blind mice, walking up, walking back down. 7 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. After this, what you're gonna do is to shift that first finger down to the last note on the string, and you see that is also just an up and down. Okay, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 notes. After this, what you're gonna do is to get onto the next string, and play down the first 2 notes on it. So I'm playing the E and the D notes here on the B string. Followed by, and that's the entire 14-note pattern. We're just going to play that down through the scale pattern that we learned. Now from right here, we're going to restart the idea. So come up here to the high E note on the B string. We're going to do the same idea. 3 blind mice it. Shift down. 2 notes on the next string. Okay? So now that we're on the G, we're going to play shift down, 2 notes on the D. Then on the D string, we're going to play jump into the A, and just resolving here on the root note E. And that's the entire lick. Let's play it again here. First sequence starts on the high E. From right here we start on the B string. G. D. And then resolve on E. So the cool thing about this pattern is that if you count it out as 16th notes, you'll notice that it comes up just shy of completing the measure. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E. That means that and that completes that measure is the first two notes of the next pattern. So the second group of 14 notes starts in the first measure and spills over into the second. Again, if this completed its entire figure fitting neatly inside the measure, the pattern would be really easy to hear. So for example, if I added two more notes in, 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and like that, and then restarted, this is way more linear and easier to hear where the pattern is going. It's almost like whenever you're like watching a ball fly, and once you see that trajectory, you know where it's going to land. You know what I mean? Whereas with this, it's a lot more squarely sounding because you can't really tell where the pattern starts and ends when it's played against a straight drum beat. You can make that sound even weirder by mixing it up with some even note phrases. Like maybe we did change it up with the 16 note variation that I showed you just a second ago. So maybe play 14, and then this time do the 16. That would be a really irregular phrase that would be almost impossible to figure out if you're just listening to it. That's what I like to hear. I like to hear these sequenced ideas because, I don't know, I like the sound of the patterns. I always have, you know. But I like it when they're less easy to figure out. I think it makes the entire thing more interesting sounding. So I mentioned earlier in the video that I kind of strategized the way that I phrase this to make it easier to pick. Here's what I'm talking about. So I typically stray away from odd numbered patterns whenever I'm alternate picking for one simple reason. Like let's say for example I took that 7-note figure and just carried that through a 3-note per string scale, right? That would be really tricky for me for one simple reason. It'd be really hard for me to get that fast because every other string is going to be an opposite set of pick strokes from the last one. Down, up, 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 down, up. It's like the picking is inverting itself every single string, right? So I typically avoid odd numbered patterns in my sequence licks, hence why I love those, like, you know, 6-note blasts and stuff. They're all even numbers. That means they start on a downstroke, they end on an upstroke. Really easy to play. So the cool thing is though, due to the laws of mathemagic that I learned in my homeschool days, two odd numbers always equal an even number. So if you have a 7-note grouping, and then you follow that with another odd note grouping, like the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7 and 5 add up to 12, right? That's an even number now. That means it starts on a downstroke, ends with an upstroke, which feels pretty normal. Now the last two notes of the pattern is that 2-note phrase right there, right? That means I just ended with down up, which means the next phrase will be starting on a downstroke and perform and behave just like the first one did. So I saved myself from ever having to like mix up my picking and reverse and do this opposites thing just by combining an odd group of notes with another odd group of notes. It's pretty cool. And again, you could do that with anything. You could do 7, then 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whatever. Again, two odds always make an even, and even numbers are always easier to pick. Pretty cool stuff. So there you go, guys, a lesson in some odd note phraseology to make your shredding a little more interestinger. It's really cool what you can do with just a little math and magic under those fingertips. So use these ideas and try to come up with some of your own unusual grouped scale sequence ideas. And put up a video on the Instagram of yourself shredding through them, and be sure to tag me at Ben Eller Guitars. That way I can see it, copy it, pretend that I invented it, and use it in a future installment of Weekend Wank Shop. And you can watch it and say, wow, I came up with that, and Uncle Ben ripped me off. What a jerk. Won't that be fun? I think it'll be fun. So be sure to tag me over there and give me a follow at Ben Eller Guitars. If you like this video, want to support the channel and get even more cool stuff, including those practice tracks that I mentioned, so you can get it up to super speed in no time, be sure to support my channel over on my Patreon page at patreon.com/Ben Eller Guitars. There is all kinds of goodies waiting for you over there. Backing tracks, bonus videos, and a community of awesome people like yourself. So don't delay, sign up today. And on your way out, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications every time I upload a new slice of fried gold, yada yada yada, all the stuff that helps YouTubers like myself out. Be sure to do all that. And tune in for the next installment of Weekend Wank Shop. Well guys, it's been fun as always, but it's time to get away from the computer and go do some odd note grouping shredding. I guess this is technically even note grouping shredding because it was 14, but odd is in unusual, not mathematically odd. You guys know what I mean. Let's click it. More picking.